My name is Abhishek Suresh Sankhe. I am student of a SAS Institute of Management Studies. Today I am presenting the PPT of the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923. Objective: the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923 aims to provide workmen and or their dependents some relief in case of accidents arising out of an in the course of employment and causing either death or a disablement of a workman. Scope and coverage: the Act extends to the whole of India. The workman whose occupation is hazardous should be included with the scope of this Act. It applies to workmen employed in factories, mines, plantation, transport establishment, construction work, railways, ship, circus, and other hazardous occupation and employments specified in a Schedule 2 to the Act. The Act does not apply to members of the armed force of the Union and those workers who are insured under the Employees State Insurance Act 1948. The coverage of this Act is also to cook employee in the hotels and restoration. Definition: Section 2: Commissioner, Dependent, Employer, Disablement, Wages, Workman. Dependent. Dependent mean any of the following relative of a decayed workman, namely a widow, a minor legitimate or a adopted son, and unmarried. Legitimate or a adopted daughter or a widower mother, if wholly depend on the earning of the workman at the time of his death, a son or a daughter who has attained the age of 18 years and who is infirm, and any of the following were wholly or partly depending on the workman at the time of his death. A widower is a parent other than a widower mother, a minor legitimate son, a unmarried legitimate daughter or a daughter legitimate or illegitimate or adopted if married, and a minor or if a widow and minor. A minor brother or an unmarried sister or a widow sister if minor. A widowed daughter-in-law. A minor child of a predeceased son and daughter where no parent of the child is alive, and a paternal grandmother if not the parent of the workman is alive. Employers: any person or a body of a person, whether incorporated or not, any managing agent of an employer. The legitimate representative of a decayed employer, a person whom service of a workman and are temporarily lent or let on hire. Workman. Workman means any person who is a railway servant as defined as a clause 34 of a section 2 of the Railways Act 1989, not permanently employed in any administrative district or a subdivision office of a railways, and not employed in any such capacity as specified in a Schedule 2. A master, seaman or other member of the crew of a ship, etc. It does not include a person whose employment of a cause nature. A captain or the other member of the crew on an aircraft. A person recruited as a driver, helper, machines, cleaner, or in any other capacity in a connection with a motor vehicle. A person recruited for work awarded by companies as is mentioned in a Schedule 2. Employer's liability to pay compensation. As per Section 3(1) of the Act, the following condition must necessarily be satisfied in order to qualify for a compensation. He must be a workman within the meaning of this Act. Personal injury must have been caused by accident. The injury must have been caused by accident. The accident must have an arise out of in the course of employment. In the injury caused by the accident must have resulted in the workman death or permanent total disablement or a temporary disablement. Accident arising out of and in the course of his employment. The employer liability to pay compensation in case of a personal injury and occupational disease. Personal injury include physical, mental injury, strain or shock caused by excitement. Disablement means reducing in a earning capacity. It may be partial or total disablement. Partial disablement, temporary partial disablement. The second is a permanent partial disablement. Total disablement, the temporary and permanent. Temporary partial disablement means that which reduce the earning capacity of the workman in the employment in which he was engaged at the time of accident. Permanent partial disablement means that which reduce for all the time the earning capacity of a workman in every employment in which he was capable of undertaking at the time. Total disablement means whether of a temporary or a permanent nature which incapacitates a workman for all work which he was capable of performing at the time of an accident. Employer is not liable. The injury does not result in the disablement for a period exceeding 3 days. The injury results in a death or a permanent total disablement due to the worker was the time of accident under the influence of a drink or drugs. The worker fulfilled disobeyed any order expressly given for ensuring safety. The worker fully removed any safety device which he knew would harm. The PPT is finished. Thank you.